growing wild, must battle against the elements in order to not only survive, but thrive. The intense heat, lack of water, blistering winds, and freezing nights are the natural enemies of these striking flora rarities. Yet somehow, these delicate-looking plants thrust their roots into the alkali plain and persevere. Simply put, wildflowers of the desert are not only beautiful, they're tough. My name is Emmeline Davis von Huntsman, or Emmy, and I would like to think that I am like a desert flower here in the often harsh climate of St. Thomas. My mother came from the lush green country of England and taught me to be a lady. How I long to make her proud. So here I am, a lovely but tough desert flower, trying to not only survive but thrive here in southern Nevada and be a proper lady at the same time. I came to St. Thomas as a young bride in the year 1878 with my husband, David Huntsman. My mother, as I mentioned before, came from Wales, England, where she graduated from medical school and was a practicing doctor. She taught me all her knowledge of medicine and healing, so you can imagine I was a welcome addition to this small town, as there was not a permanent doctor. I soon became very busy helping out the local folk with their medical needs, and for a time I was the only local midwife. I traversed miles and miles of barren desert to answer the often frantic cries for help of those in need of medical assistance. And I tended to those needs with a dutiful and caring heart. My faith dictated that in order to be a true follower of our Savior, I needed to love and serve others as He did. Not only did I travel those solitary miles to the desert in daylight, but I also took to the trail in the dark dead of night in order to help my friends and neighbors. Can you all imagine how dark it is here, once the sun has bid goodnight to me of only the moon and stars for light? Well, I can tell you this desert flower has first-hand experienced what it's like to try and travel through this area between the hours of sundown and sunup. It's dark. The pulsing cry of the coyote and hoots of the night owl were often the only sounds to accompany me on my journeys. So with my medicine satchel strapped to my back, I would mount my horse and hold my lantern up high to light the way for me and my animal to travel unharmed. Many times, just as hope was ebbing for those in need of medical assistance, they would see my bright lantern glowing in the distance and be filled with relief that I would soon be there to help. Within just a short time, I gained the nickname of Lady of the Lantern, or Lantern Lady. Well, my mother hoped I'd one day be a lady, and even though this might not be exactly what she wished for, I'm certain she would be proud of my service to those around me. After several years, we moved away from St. Thomas to the Upper Muddy, where we built a lovely rock house that still exists today. I continued with my doctoring there, and even did a bit of cooking for the railroad line, as the trains passed through a portion of our property. Can you believe those trains began making unofficial stops at our ranch just to be able to delight in my cooking? Well, I was sure happy to help those hungry rail workers, and they in turn always watched out for me and my family. I am certain you all have heard about the devastating floods that can happen here in the desert, and sadly, we've seen our fair share of them. Many times I've ridden the Meadow Valley Wash just at the edge of the fast-moving water to help rescue and doctor those caught in the raging and relentless floodwaters.
Don't let her fool you. She has saved many lives with her actions. She may be embarrassed, but she is her own.
I was only trying to follow the example of Him who is the greatest servant of all. As you can see, life here in St. Thomas has never been dull, but certainly fulfilling. I am ever so grateful to have the opportunity to live here, among the finest people alive, and to be able to serve them in any capacity that I could. Call me a desert flower or Lady of the Lantern, but my greatest wish is to be called someone who served a fellow man with love and care, just as my dear English mother and Savior taught me to do.